Okay, hopefully this works. I'm Mark, and it's New Year's Eve, not Christmas Eve, like I said on Facebook. So thanks, Don, for pointing that error out. And so tonight's show, we actually have a lot of stuff to talk about. The new year should be pretty cool. Actually, there's a story I should probably bring up from Australia that talks about the new year. But anyway, let me shut myself off here. And so the first thing we're going to talk about, of course, is our webpage. Lots more activity going on here as well. So I think a lot of people that were off on Christmas vacation have decided to upload some things. Chris Harvey uploaded a profile cover with looks like his light meter and camera, which looks like a really nice setup. And just a lot of other things, like Marco posted a really short video we're going to watch now. And let me make it large if possible before... Oh, okay, here we go. So you guys can see it. And it's called Penguin Wishes. So here we go. So a really neat little short film there, and so that was from Marco Vanderberg. So he's one of our members, and of course we watched Bandits of Kurochigo last week on our first YouTube live broadcast, which is really fun. And Ben Winston posted that, or liked it, I guess. You know, I'm not really sure why. Let me see here. Okay, never mind. Yeah, so he posted that, and let me see, where was it? Okay. So Donghai, he's uploaded a lot more videos on our site, and if you guys recall, he had a cardboard, all cardboard film where he also had some behind-the-scenes videos of that as well. And so really nice to look at those. So if you guys have a chance to check those out, stop by animateclay.com. Also remember that we do have our monthly challenges, and so far no entries yet. But if you click to enter on our monthly challenge page, just to remind everybody, so December 16th to January 28th is a morning experience is the topic. So let me see here. So I don't believe, yeah, nobody's uploaded any videos. He's got a video, but it's not qualified, I think, from Stamp Motion. But anyway, you guys still have a lot of time left. We extended it an extra week because of New Year's and Christmas. So so definitely check that out if you guys want to have some fun. All right, now, so I wanted to talk about some free software for 2015. I found this software recently called Fusion 7, and what I was trying to do, and I know a lot of people out there try to figure out, how do you make, for example, fire or sparks or fog or snow or rain effects. No, Ron, I did not send out any emails to anybody. So if that happens automatically, that's great. But I know Ron Coleman actually liked this too. Fusion 7 is free. It has a free version and a paid version. But what you do with it is you can do a lot of composition for your films. So for example, if you want to work on something where you have layers of green screen, layers of different elements that you want to put together, Essentially what this does is you can do that very easily and rapidly. And you can see here, the way it works is with nodes. So they have a timeline, and then you just plop all your stuff in there, and you connect them. So you have your film, your raw footage would be like here, and then you add, you know, your effect here and another effect there. And by the time you're at the end of your nodes, you have an output, a view window that shows you what everything looks like. And so, for example, here we have, you want to just see your effects, and you can see them on the right side, and you can see on the left side you have your raw footage, and then they've added this smoke, these tires spinning, the smoke and all this motion blur and all that kind of stuff. Now, I thought you could do motion blur in this program, but the only way to do any decent motion blur is with Real Smart Motion Blur as a plugin, just like with After Effects. So you can do blurring, but it's very limited, and the blurring that it does do, and I thought this would be cool if this was free and you can just blur your scenes if you wanted to. They have a way of blurring, what do you call those things? Well, it has to be like a graphic, and the graphic has to be slid around on keyframes across your scene. So let's say you have a UFO or something that's a JPEG image, and you've cut it out in Photoshop or GIMP or some other program, and you plop it in here, and then you animate it going from the top left corner to the bottom right corner. What you will get is a motion blur, but all it really does is it takes your image, and as it goes across, let's say you were to move it from the top left to the bottom right within 3 moves, it will add 8 individual images per move. So it's kind of like just copying and pasting, but making it transparent, the image. So it's not really a true motion blur. So and I'm not sure if this is for Mac. Nick is asking, is it for PC, is it for Mac, or both? I think it might be. I think there might be a Mac version. Let me see. Training compare. Where was it? Download. Here it is. So it appears they have a Windows version only, which is kind of unfortunate. So Stop Monic says After Effects has a built-in motion blur that is much the same as Real Smart Motion Blur, at least After Effects 5 or later. I'm not sure, and Don, I'm not sure if it would work on XP. I'm not sure. It's one of those things. It's free. If you guys are interested, you might just try downloading it, see if it works. Yeah. So, Nick, you should tell us if this broadcast is working for you. I'm kind of curious if this works in Australia if it's better than live stream. Because I remember you always had a lot of issues with the show. But anyway, they kind of promote it on here. It's like, yay, collaborate with large teams. It's like they're kind of gearing it towards studios and whatnot. But it's very simple to use. I watched a few tutorials. There are some things which you may like, which you may not like. Of course, there are some blockbuster films that have used it for compositing 3D matte paintings, as you can see here. This was, let's see, Uncharted Territory. I've never seen it. But it's very easy. It's very easy to use. And they've got some tutorials as well. Maybe I can bring one of those up. Some videos. So, if you want to know the basics, they have a tutorial section and whatnot. But like I say, it's free. You can do motion blurs, which are not so great, but you can do compositing. You can do Gaussian blurs, color correction, motion tracking. I think is for you can use the paid version. So there's a lot of options for people for free, which is great. And Nick says he abandoned Windows when he replaced his frame-grabbing PC with an iMac. Ooh. Well, if you still have it, if it's lying in your garage or something, you could fire it up if you think it's useful. But if you have After Effects, you probably wouldn't need it anyway. Yeah, that's one of the things. Don is expressing some fear about updating a system and not being able to use his software. And I had that same fear too. Actually, recently I did a shot on Zombie Pirate Tales with, of course, Dragonframe, which is the software I'm using right now. And it seems like for my Mac Mini, I turned it on and it said that there's a brand new operating system that you can get for free. You just click a button and it updates your whole computer for you. But I was afraid that Dragonframe wouldn't work, and if it didn't work and I'm trying to do my scene, what can I do? So I can totally understand that. But some of the tools are pretty nice. Maybe I can show you guys some of these things in this little tutorial here, just to kind of give you guys an idea of what this is about.
Fusion comes with an ever-growing plethora of tools, which are organized in categories. The categories and tools can be accessed by means of the bin system, the menus, or with the Add Tool script. Most tools in Fusion have the Common Controls tab. It contains some very convenient functions. For the sake of this demonstration, we have a slightly exaggerated color grading. Adjustments have been made to a variety of controls. To bring the overall strength of the tool down, use the Blend slider in the Common Controls tab. Checkboxes allow to select which channels the tool is active on. If a mask is connected to the tool, it can also be applied inverted. Or the tool can multiply the image with the mask, effectively modifying the alpha channel. If material or object IDs are available, these can be used as a mask for the tool as well. On tools that can introduce motion, like a transform for example, there is also a motion blur option in the Common Controls. Remember that even checkboxes like this can be animated to switch motion blur dynamically on or off. There are multiple ways to add tools to the flow. It can be done by means of the menu. Menu tabs can also be undocked, for example to have the particle tools handy. Another option is to right-click in the flow and select Add or Replace tool, which displays the same menu structure. Tools can also be dragged from the bin onto the flow or onto the display view. Open the bins by clicking on the bin icon or pressing Ctrl B. The same tool structure as in the menus is reflected in the bins. Drag a tool from the bin onto the display view to connect it automatically to the currently viewed tool. Once you are familiar with the tools' names in Fusion, probably the fastest way to add tools is to press Ctrl space and simply type the name of the desired tool followed by return.
That just kind of gives you a very, very super brief overview of some of the tools that you can use. There's really a lot of different things you can do, very similar to After Effects. You can buy plugins and like I said, real smart motion blur. What's cool about this is basically a free program to download. So if you don't want to buy After Effects and real smart motion blur, you can just buy real smart motion blur and install it. So and get it to work. But what was the reason I couldn't get it to work on mine? Oh yeah, Real Smart Motion Blur has not caught up to the version that just came out. Fusion 7 is actually, I believe it came out really recently, because I tried using the demo of Real Smart Motion Blur in here and I could not do it. But so actually, you know, um, it's not such a good thing. But I'm sure they'll catch up pretty soon. But anyway, it's free software. I just kind of want to start to show off with that because that's really cool that at least they're allowing, you know, low-budget filmmakers access to their software. It's not a full feature set, but the features that you do get and that I've tried are really vast. So check it out, try it out, download it, see if it works. If it does work, that's great. If not, hey, at least you gave it a shot. So anyway, there's moving along here now. Fusion 7 has the ability to create sparks and particles, like rain, like I said before, snow, things like that. And like I say, it's a free program, which is really nice. But if that's not your thing, and for me personally, I don't care for software-driven particle systems and all that kind of stuff. It's just not intuitive to me, and when I try to learn those programs, I have difficulty because I can follow a tutorial and I can get it to work and probably get it to look nice, but anytime you take a computer element and you mix it in with stop motion, there's some kind of like, I don't know, there's like a something that's unsettling to your eye. It's like it sticks out like, oh, that's not real, that's computers. It just doesn't blend in sometimes. And so one of the people that I found on YouTube is Shanks FX. And let me click this here and I can go back. And I don't remember if I showed any of this stuff last week. But a lot of Shanks FX, what he does is he tries to reproduce things that normally are done in computers, like this black hole, for example, from Interstellar. What he did is he remade that same effect that they did in Hollywood using computers, and he used things like LED lights. He used a fan that was rotating with burning steel wool, for example. And he used, I mean, he did use After Effects to composite all the elements together, but it was all real, you know, in-camera stuff that he did, and he only used the software to, you know, composite things. And you know what's great about that is if you're not so good with software, like Blender 3D is a great program too, and you can do the same kind of sparks and, you know, fire and all that kind of stuff. But it's really tough to learn and to get it to look right. So what Shanks FX did is he made this channel, and I guess he's being financed by PBS, and he's got all these videos. Let's see here, and what he does is he shows you how to reproduce things like warp speed with steel wool and LED lights and cloud tanks, how to make, for example, smoke and clouds and star fields and all that kind of stuff. And it's great. And I plan to use a lot of these in my next film, a lot of the things he's taught. So I learned a lot, and if you guys want to learn as well, there's one video I'm going to show from him. And can I bring it up? Where is it? Here it is. Okay. This one here is just, it's a simple one on how he does stop motion with a salt shaker and the steps he took.